Hello everyone, good morning to all of you. I hope that you can hear my voice clearly. You can see the slides clearly. Just let me know once and then we are good to begin with the session. All right. Good morning to all of you. Good morning everyone. Please let me know once you can hear me properly. I'll open the chats here. Okay. All good. Let us get started. Okay. So today we are going to study waves and sound. All right. So let us begin with our class. Thank you for confirming, Prudvi. I'll open your chats here. Good morning to all of you. Good morning. All right. Let us begin with our today's topic, that is the science of sound waves. First of all, we will see waves and then we will move to the details. This is the summary of all the dimensions where we are going to focus. Say, for example, good morning, Shubhai. Say, for example, what are the dimensions we are going to focus? We are going to understand the difference between the mechanical waves. We are going to see what is a, just a second. Good morning, Amrita. Good morning, Marks. Okay. So we are going to see what is a longitudinal wave, what is a transverse wave. We are going to understand how frequency, pitch, altitude, these things are easily understood and how you can solve the questions from them. And we are going to see the speed of sound and how they travel in different medium. Okay. And then we are going to solve some questions in the end. So let us get started. Okay. Now, if you look into this particular wave, okay, or imagine if I throw a stone in the water, then you can see that wherever I have thrown the stone, there will be some ripple effect, right? If you have not seen this, throw a stone in some water body and then see that there are some ripple effects around that stone, okay? Or if you have seen that in the sea the tides are moving, so you can see there are waves in the sea. If you have seen a snake moving, how a snake will move, a snake will move like this. If you have seen a rope exercise in the gym, then the rope is started from, or in the say any videos also, if you have seen the rope, it will be started from one end and that wave keeps on propagating, and that waves, see, at one point the rope will go like this and then the same energy, it keeps on moving forward, right? So if you have seen all these effect in your day-to-day life, that are the waves. If you look at your emotions, sometimes you are high, sometimes you are low. So emotions also work in a sinusoidal wave, right? So that is how it works. That is the psychology. So that is why sometimes you may feel high, sometimes you may feel low. So all these are the waves, and every wave begins with a disturbance. Otherwise, why there will be, if you will not throw the stone, if you will not create that disturbance, why there will be that effect in the waves, right? So just like we studied in motion, that if anything is in the state of rest or uniform motion, it will continue to be in the state of rest or uniform motion. Similarly here also, for every wave, it will begin with a disturbance. Okay. So can we now come to the definition that a wave is a disturbance that travels through a medium, transferring energy without transferring matter. Now, if you will imagine, it is only transferring the energy. There is no transfer of medium and it requires a medium. How do we understand that? Say, for example, if you are doing this, say the holding hands and this dance is done, or this rope is moving, say like this, the rope itself is not going anywhere, right? It is just transferring that energy. Yes or no? It is just transferring that energy. This water itself is not going anywhere. It is there only. just it has, say, transferred, or there is some transfer of energy, but the matter has not gone anywhere. It is there itself. Okay, so we can say that transferring energy without the transfer of matter. Okay, now what is a pulse? If you look at this particular diagram, what you see is a short duration wave. Okay, this is called a pulse. It is similar to that flick of a rope. If you will just do the rope like this and just one flick happened, say for example, then or for a short duration it has happened, so that is what we call as a pulse. And if it is moving continuously like this, then we call it as a continuous wave. This is what we call as a continuous wave. Okay, now what are sound waves? Please remember, anything that will require the M for medium, right? It requires a medium. It cannot travel in vacuum like the light waves, right? It requires a medium. So these are the mechanical waves. Okay, so sound waves are mechanical waves. That means they require the medium. They can travel in solid, they can travel in liquid, they can travel in gas, but what is for sure is they will require a medium. They cannot travel in vacuum. Okay, now we can by now say summarize the two fundamental waves. Okay, one is the transverse wave. Imagine that rope going like this. Yes, so that is the transverse wave. I will put a T like this, okay, for transverse wave, so that you will always remember this. Now can you see here that this T is nothing but the symbol of perpendicular? Or if I put a T like this also, can you see this T is nothing but this perpendicular? Here also, here also. So however you remember, but please never confuse that if it is a transverse wave, it means that the particles of the medium, as you can see in this diagram, or as you can imagine in case of a rope, the particles of the medium, they move perpendicular. This perpendicular, at any point you see they move perpendicular to the direction of the wave's energy transfer. Okay, if this is the direction of the wave's energy transfer, at any point you consider they're moving perpendicular at any particular point. So that is what we call as a transverse wave. Okay, imagine it to be like a rope, or like the people dancing, you know, like this, that signature step of some movies. Okay, now coming to the longitudinal wave. Now if you imagine a spring here, then you see, or you can say, how does a snake moves? A snake will not go just up and down like this, right? A snake will properly move like this, right? Yeah. So if you see here, it is moving in the direction of the energy, but how? These particles are not going perpendicular like the transverse. They are going in compression, rarefaction. Compression, how do you imagine? Take a spring. In our homes nowadays, we have this steel bars, but previously there used to be the springs for the curtains. If you will see them in that spring, it is very evident that okay, it is moving by compression and rarefaction. You can see that quite clearly. Can you imagine a spring, everyone? Let me know. Yes, can you imagine a spring? The spring is going up and down? No, it never goes up and down. It goes compression, rarefaction. Yes or no? You will see a spring going up and down or not? Will you see like that? Yes. Okay. Say, very good, Prithvi. So you will never see a spring going up and down like this. It will always go in compression. If you if you will by mistake leave the spring from here, or it gets, say, you lose it from your hand, what will happen? It will directly come like this. It will hurt your hand here. Yes or no? So if you imagine this spring movement, this is the longitudinal wave. The particles of the medium move parallel to the direction of the wave energy. Just remember the example of the spring. It will be very easy for you. Okay. I hope you will never confuse with transverse by putting the T in between and then remembering it will go perpendicular to the direction of the energy transfer. And longitudinal, you will simply remember spring, okay? And S for spring, S for sound, and sound waves in the air are longitudinal waves, okay? S for spring, by spring you will remember, okay, these are the compression rarefaction ones, the longitudinal waves, and this is what sound is, okay? Sound is waves are longitudinal waves, and later on we will study for light they will be in this part, okay? So they will be in the transverse wave, okay? So the air particles move back and forth in the same direction the sound is traveling. So the air particles will move like this. You imagine a particle here, how this particle is moving. 90-degree, imagine a particle here. Wherever you want to imagine this particle, you will see this is a 90-degree to the direction of propagation. Yes? Okay. I hope this is clear. Now we can come to the next one, that is about some important terms. Okay. The amplitude. What is the amplitude? The magnitude of the maximum disturbance in the medium from its mean value. This determines the wave's energy. How do we determine the wave's energy? It is determined by amplitude. How do I understand this? If the ocean, imagine the ocean, the tides are very high someday, okay? The wave, it has a lot of energy someday. Or there are big waves. Can you imagine this? There are big waves. What does it mean? There is more energy, and that means this from the mean value, this amplitude is more. So with the help of the ocean, it becomes very easy to remember that, okay, this amplitude, it is for the waves energy and it is the maximum disturbance. If there will be a tsunami, it will just go like, the wave will take away everything that big, okay? So this becomes very easy with that. Now come to the wavelength. If you will take these two consecutive points, and if you will say take the length here, or you will take these two consecutive points and you will take the length here, okay, then what will this be? You can take from here to here, you can take from here to here. So at this point, you will find that this is known as the wavelength. Simple, between two consecutive, say here you can take it as the crest and here you can take it as the trough, okay? Now the time period for two consecutive compressions or rarefactions, it is to cross a fixed point. Here you have seen the compression and the rarefactions. So that is known as the time period, how much time it has taken. And finally, what is the frequency? It is nothing but the number of oscillations per unit of time. Let me just make it very simple. How will you understand this? If somebody visits your home very frequently, he is a frequent visitor. It will look something like that. Okay, he is a frequent visitor. Or if somebody visits rarely, low frequency, this will be, say, low frequency. So if I take at the same time period, in this diagram, you can clearly see this is for high frequency and this is for low frequency. Okay. Now, I hope these basic terms, you can understand them. And now we will go into the details. Okay. Some other terms, that is pitch. What is pitch? The loudness, the highness or the lowness of a sound. If you will use the term loudness, it means the sensation of sound in the ear. Okay. And if you will say pitch, it is the highness or lowness of the sound. So attach sound with pitch and loudness with ear. Okay. With this, you will never get the confusion. So how do I understand this? Pitch is the characteristic that distinguishes a sharp, shrill sound from a grave or dull one. Okay. So if there is if lion's voice is there, okay, and you say a dog voice is there, then which one do you think is more sharp? Okay, so if you say the dog's voice is more sharp, that means the dog's voice has the more pitch. Simple. Okay, it is determined by frequency. The unit of frequency is known as hertz. This you know from your childhood days. What is the unit of frequency? It is hertz. Okay, now there is a direct relationship. I told you higher frequency. How you will make this diagram? Somebody visits very frequently, that is high frequency. Low frequency, okay, this is low frequency. Okay, so higher frequency, if there is higher frequency, this will result in higher pitch. Okay, higher frequency means there will be higher pitch. As you can see, this is more frequent, right? Higher frequency, so this will be high pitch. Okay, now a man's voice typically has a lower frequency, a lower pitch, and a woman's voice has higher frequency. So with the higher frequency, when you attach loudness, then sometimes it can appear like, okay, this woman has a very high voice or has a very high tone if you mix this high pitch with the loudness. Okay, a man's voice typically has a lower frequency than a baby girl. Baby girl crying, how is it? High pitch. Okay, and men's, it is like, say, not dull, but you can say it is not that sharp. It is grave. It is more of a grounded kind of a sound, right? So understand that with pitch. Okay, now coming to loudness, this is the sensation, you have attached it to the ear. Okay, so loudness is the measure of the ear's response to the sound. Okay, it is, you can say it as the ear's response to the sound. It depends on the intensity of the sound wave. So it depends on what? Intensity. And pitch was determined by what? Frequency. And loudness is being determined by what? Intensity. Now, if you will get confused, then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. If you will see L, okay, let it be. You remember by anyways, just remember that I is with L, or in I only you can put the L like this. Okay, so initially in your preparation stage, if you are not able to remember this, you see that if I in the capital form, if I write the L in the small form, it somehow appears like, in the mobile format at least, it appears like I and L similar. Sometimes it is there, no? So like that you can have this, say you can never confuse in your MCQs that this L and I somewhat looks similar sometimes. Okay, now how do you measure loudness? For loudness, for sound, this is sound that is perceived by the ear or the response of the ear. For this loudness, always remember bell, telephone, phone, tring tring, the bell will ring, Alexander Graham Bell, whatever you want to attach to it. But just remember the loudness is in bell or in decibel or in phone. Okay, so noise is measured in decibels. Okay, what is noise? It is the unwanted loudness. You don't want it. That is the unwanted loudness. Okay, coming to the different speeds in the different mediums. Now, if something will require the medium for travel, what does it mean? The more medium you provide, the faster it will travel. Okay, if something will not require the medium, what does it mean? The better or less medium that you provide vacuum, it will be at its fastest because it does not require the medium at all. And if something will require the medium, provide more medium. Okay, so what do you think? Solid, it will travel faster or not? Yes, it will travel the fastest through the solid, and then it will decrease in liquid, and then it will be the slowest in the gases. That is how sound will travel, because in this there will be more scope for the vibrations. Okay, now you see In case of the fastest travel of sound, you can see in this case, in the glass, it will travel fastest. It is more than 4,500 meter per second. In water, it is 1500 meter per second, and in air, it is 332 meter per second. This we see in question most of the time, that how much it is in air. So for air, you must remember, air, if it is in 0 degree Celsius, then it is 332 meter per second. Again, in your exam, they're not asking temperature specific. They're just asking that tell us the speed of sound in air. You have to say it is in air. Sometimes they're asking you to arrange glass, water, air like this. So you remember, since, okay, glass is also supercooled liquid, but okay, let us assume that it appears to be solid at least. So in glass, it is more than in water, and then least in the case of air. Okay. And in case of glass, it is approximately 4,500 okay, meter per second. Okay, so it is fastest in the glass out of these three. All right. Coming to how the temperature influence the speed of sound. Now, before you read this, what you already know, that these are because of the vibrations or the disturbances. Okay, disturbances, this already you know. Why it is fastest in solid? Yes, Hemant, it is fastest in solid because for the, it will need to do the vibrations. These vibrations, it will transfer faster if there is a medium. Okay, you require the medium for it to transfer faster. It is very simple. If somebody does not require the medium at all, then it will move fastest in the vacuum, because it does not need. So less the medium, better it is. If something needs the medium for its propagation, what does it mean? More the medium, better it is. So here solids will be compact. Yes or no? The intermolecular space will be less. So the vibration will be able to transfer in a faster way. Okay. All right, it is nothing but these particles are going up and down, no? They're vibrating in their place, no? Their disturbance is causing. That is why anything is moving, yes or no? Okay? Solid must act as no. That you are imagining for light, this imagination which you are holding, that is for light you are holding. Here, in this case, they will be able to propagate because of this. They themselves are, matter is not moving, only the energy is moving. Okay. Now, if we look into the temperature, the speed of sound increases as the temperature of the medium increase. How do you understand this? It is very simple. If we have said already that it is because of the disturbances, then more disturbances will be created if the temperature has increased. In case of kinetic energy also we have seen, if you will increase the temperature, the velocity of the molecules will increase. And again, that will be your half mv square. So that's why there also you will see the increase. So here also the vibrations will increase, or you can say the disturbance will increase, as a result of which the speed of sound will increase because the movement will be faster. And the speed decreases as temperature decreases. If temperature will decrease, the speed will also decrease. Wall hinders the sound. Okay, we are not able to listen sound behind the thick walls. You are considering the systems. You are considering the open systems and closed systems now. If you are talking about one single inside that room, you are keeping the wall as the hindrance. We are not talking about, if you want to consider like that, then you consider completely inside the soundproof room. If you will fill this soundproof room with, say, water completely, okay, under the water, what will happen? Will it not get slower? Will you be able to hear the sound very clearly? No. So you are comparing one system with the outer, with different mediums completely you are considering at the same time. Okay, just like in light, you can imagine that in the different mediums it will change. So you are transferring it from air, you are changing the medium to solid, again you are going for the medium to air. So multiple mediums you are considering here. Okay, now coming to the example of air, what will happen at 0 degrees Celsius? We have seen the speed is 332 meter per second, right? At 0 degrees Celsius, we have seen 332 meter per second. If you will increase it to 20 degrees Celsius, then we have seen that the speed increases to 343 meter per second. Okay, and due to refraction of sound often heard at longer distances at night. If you will consider what happens at night this sound will travel a long distance. Yes or no? Even if you will talk very slowly at night, okay, it will go to a, say, longer distance. You talk in one room, or if the doors are open, then from outside the people can hear. Yes or no? If you are similarly in different mediums, it will be different. Okay, now the air near the ground is cooler than the air above it, causing the sound waves to bend back down towards the listener. This air which is above, this will there the faster speed you will see, because the wave front, it will go like this, the and again then it will come like this, as a result of which it can be heard for a longer distance. Now coming to the supersonic speed. Imagine if the speed of an object that is traveling faster than the speed of sound. If you have made a supersonic jet, supersonic missile, then what does it means? It means it is traveling faster than the speed of sound. Now, if there is a motor boat which travel faster than sound in water, it will produce some waves. You will see some shock waves. Why? Because it is moving faster than the sound. Even in case of if it is moving in the sky also, you will see something like a tail, long tail like this you will see. What are they known as? They are known as the bow waves. Okay, they are known as the bow waves, or you can call them the shock waves also. Sound travels faster in increase in temperature. Yes. Mercurial, yes. Sound will travel faster if you will increase the temperature. Okay. Now, if you look into the range, what human ear is able to hear is just this 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz range. That's all. Okay, this is the range of sensitivity to the human hearing. All right. If something is less than this, we call it infrasonic. Okay, like the earthquakes. Can you hear the earthquake waves coming? Can you hear the or the volcano is going to come? All these things can we hear? No. What is ultrasonic? This also we cannot hear. That is the frequencies which is above the human hearing. Okay. Children, it is always suggested that you speak slowly. Yes, why? Because children, they are able to hear little bit, say, above this audible range, that is 25 kilohertz. Okay, or 25,000 hertz. Now coming to some very frequently asked questions. Before we go to the questions, let us look at some frequently asked questions. Sonar, using sound waves to measure the depth of ocean. Now previously in a rope you will tie a stone, you will throw it down, you will measure. That was done. Now what to do is the sound waves can be sent, and with the sonar you will come to know. Even if there is a same mountain peak in front, then previously you have seen, okay, Titanic can happen, but now probably there are better measures because the sound waves will the sonar will give the indication, okay, something is there. Okay. Now, in the ultrasonography, what is used? The sound waves are used. You can use them for cleaning also, like in case of some machines, this sound can be used for cleaning. Then sterilization of the liquids, ultrasound can be used. In industrial use, it can be used for removing the soot or this fly ash, etc. And of course, in the signal also, they can be used. What is microphone? It is a device where if you will talk, okay, then this device will transform this sound which is coming out from your larynx into an electrical signal. And this will allow this sound to be recorded, transmitted, whatever you want to do. Okay, it will be converted into an electrical current signal. What is this amplification? This is the forced vibration. If you have seen a fork, you will just move it like this. Then you will see it will vibrate. Okay. When a vibrating tuning fork is placed on a table, a much louder sound is heard. Okay. What is this? This is, or to vibrate at the same frequency, amplifying the sound. So what does an amplifier does? It is nothing but the forced vibrations. And this is last, which we will continue from here. Now we will come to the questions first. This we will continue from here in the, say, the electromagnetic waves, when we will go to the EM waves. So EM waves are different. The sound waves, unlike sound waves, what were the sound waves? They were the longitudinal waves. They required a medium. They are the mechanical waves, right? But the EM waves, they do not require a material medium. They can travel in vacuum also. Okay? They are produced by an accelerated charge. And in this case, as you can see, this is how they will move. This is how the EM waves will propagate. And from this EM waves, which are also transverse wave, I told you in the first slide also, from the transverse wave, the light waves, the EM waves, this we will study in the chapter light. Okay. So this is what we had to study in sound. Quickly, let us have a look. Sound is produced by what? Vibrating objects. Simply hit a plate with a spoon and you will see this. Place some water. Okay, do this experiment. In a plate, put some water. Okay, hit the plate with a spoon and you will hear the sound. You will see this water vibrating. Now this doubt that you had about what are these vibration, what do we mean by this vibration? This water is moving. Why it is moving? Simply with the spoon you are hitting the plate. That is enough. You heard the sound. End of the story. But if you look into the water, you will see ripples in this water. This water is vibrating. With the plate, it is difficult to see. It is difficult to identify whether there is an earthquake or not. But if you see a water bottle, which is made of glass, you will see the ripples clearly and you are sure, oh, earthquake is coming. So here you will see this water, you will realize that what is happening, it is vibrating. Okay. And this concept will be clear. In human beings, the vibration of the vocal cord produces the sound. What is that? When you study the respiratory organs, in the respiratory system, you study, okay, the nostrils, you have taken the air, then you have this, say, in the neck. Okay, this is the eye. Now, in the neck, you will see there is the larynx. First, there is the pharynx, then there is the larynx. Here, this is your voice box. And then it goes down to the bronchioles, alveolar sac, etc. Okay. So that is this vocal cords. Touch here in your neck. You can see this vocal cords are vibrating. Can you feel it? So that is what is producing the sound. Okay. Sound travels through a medium and it will travel fastest in the solid. More medium, better it is. It cannot travel in vacuum. Okay. The EM waves can travel. The light waves can travel. Sound waves, longitudinal waves cannot travel. The eardrum sends the vibration of the sound and it sends this to the brain, and that is how we are able to hear. Okay. This we have already studied with the example of the tides in the ocean. The number of oscillations per vibration, we call it as frequency of oscillation. Frequency we have studied that it is expressed in hertz, right? And the more frequent it is, yes, what does it mean? The more frequent it is, you can relate it directly to the pitch, right? The higher the frequency of vibration, the higher is the pitch. Unpleasant sound, we call it as noise. Excessive or unwanted sound, this will lead to noise pollution. Then high pitch, yes, very good. Now, sound travels as a longitudinal waves, we have already seen, and it requires the medium and successive compression and rarefaction. We had seen this is the property of the longitudinal waves. Imagine a spring. Okay. Now, sound propagation, it is the energy of sound that travels and not the particles of the medium. In the first slide only we had seen that only the energy will be propagated. There will be no transfer of matter. Matter will not be transported or transferred. Only the energy is being transferred. Just like you put a stone and there is the ripples. Okay, that is one example. And just like the spring, that is the another example, the spring will go and it will come back. It will go and it will come back like that. Okay. So in case of the transverse also you can remember. In case of the longitudinal also you can remember. Okay. Then sound cannot travel in vacuum. Already we have studied this. Now, the distance between two consecutive compressions, which we have already called as a wavelength, which we understood in the diagram also, just let us call it as lambda. And the time that is taken, the time period, we will denote it as t. And for the frequency, we will denote it as frequency is 1 by t. The number of complete oscillations per unit time is called frequency. So that means there is the inverse proportionality. As you can see, this is more frequent in this time period, yes or no? And if you say in the same time period, this is less frequent. Okay, so with this you can remember. So we can just put it as speed is equal to wavelength into this frequency. The speed of sound, it depends on the, we have seen, transmitting medium, and that is why it will be fastest in case of what? In case of solid. Okay. Now with this information, let us try to solve the questions. Already we have studied human ear, it is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Okay. Sometimes they ask about some more informations which I have provided here. You can go through this, that if somebody is whispering, what does it mean? It is in which, say, loudness decibel. So you have to say it is 30 decibel. Normal conversations that we have, this is in 60 decibel. Okay. Now let us come to the questions. Already we have discussed infrasonic, ultrasonic. Okay. Now have a look at this diagram. Let us summarize everything and then let us go to the questions. Okay. So sound, number one, remember longitudinal. Remember it requires medium. And if it requires medium, then better the medium, better it is. So it will travel faster in solid, then in liquid, and then in gases, and it cannot travel in vacuum. Okay. Just remember the speed in gases because it is asked 332 meter per second. Now, what is this echo? If you are standing in front of a mountain and if you're shouting somebody's name, okay, then what will happen? This waves will go like this. It will stuck there and it will come back. Yes or no? And you are able to hear that name again. That will be echoed. Okay, so for this echo to happen, the minimum distance that is required, it is 17.2 meter. You will see echo happening in big auditoriums. You will not see it inside small rooms. Why? Because it will not be of 17 meters, right? It can be 17 into 17, but 12 into 10, 12 into 14, whatever it is. But ideally, normally it is not 17. So if it is not 17.2 meter minimum, the echo effect will not be there. Okay. Ultrasonic, example, the earthquakes, etc. The human, infrasonic, the earthquake, etc. Human cannot hear. Infrasonic, then the volcanic activities. So these are infrasonic. This is less than 20 hertz. Audible range 20 to 20,000 hertz. This is the normal range for human hearing. And the ultrasonic, this is greater than 20,000 hertz. Okay, this is like the ones produced by the bats. Okay, high frequency, high pitch, female voice, beautiful songs. Low frequency, male voice, a deeper and a heavier voice. Like, and in case of the lion or dog, so dog will be here and lion will be there. Okay, why? Because lion has like a roaring voice. No, it is very deep voice. Okay, and sonic boom, what is this? If anything moves faster than the sound, you will find the sonic boom. Jai Hind, Karthik Kishore. Now, let us come to the questions. Okay. They can find water for sure, that I know, because I have watched in some, maybe this animal show, that in the jungle, elephants are the ones who knows that from where this water is flowing, and they can use their teeth to pierce that ground and they can find the water. Okay. Sound waves cannot travel through. Very good, Prithvi. Vacuum. And here Karthik is also saying vacuum. So multiple times we have seen that the sound wave cannot travel in vacuum. Very good. Next question. Sound waves travels fastest in steel, air, vacuum, or water. They will travel fastest in what? Water? No, I think that last question you answered. Correct. Option number 1. Why you were saying air? Karthik Kishore, did you join late? Why you were saying air? Yes, correct, Hemant. Correct, Amrut. Mercurial, correct. That is your, it travels fastest in steel out of these options. Remember, S for sound, S for solid. It will travel fastest in the solid. If steel was not there, if glass was there, then also glass. Okay. Velocity of sound in air. Velocity of sound in air does not change with the change of what? Does it change with the change of temperature? Yes or no? With temperature, with pressure in the air, with moisture content in the air, or wind in the direction of propagation of sound. With temperature, directly you have seen if it will be increased, the vibrations will be more, the sound will travel faster. What about pressure? Moisture content, yes, it will change. Yes, moisture content, that is, you remember that air diagram, cooler air, then warmer air. What has changed? Moisture content has also changed. So this will also affect, you have seen, this will also affect, we have seen. Wind in the direction of propagation of sound. If there is wind in the direction of propagation of sound, it is also nothing but a wave. So will it affect or not? It will also affect. Mark Singh, correct. And here, okay. So correct answer that it will not be affected by the pressure of the air. Okay, because rest of them are affecting. 1 and 3 we have directly seen. Okay. The pitch of sound depends on, why I told you this way, that this is more frequent. Why I told you? So that you are able to remember the answer. My real correct answer. Others? Yes, so that is why I told you like this, more frequency, more pitch. So now you know the answer. Pitch of sound depends on frequency. Okay, and with this diagram, that this is more frequent, this is less frequent, you can solve many questions just by remembering this trick. Okay, try the next question. A person standing on a railway platform, okay, he's standing on a railway platform, okay, listens to the whistles of arriving and departing trains. Trains are arriving, trains are departing. He is listening to the whistles. The whistle heard is the whistle that he will hear. It is same in both the cases in all respects, of higher intensity when train arrives, okay, and when train goes away, the perception in the ear, the intensity, remember, not the pitch, not the frequency, the intensity or how the ear is perceiving the sound. Was it pitch when train? You can simply remove these two options. If you, when I was telling you in a very simple way, I told you the ear's perceiveness, how it is perceiving the sound, the loudness, how it is perceiving the loudness. So the higher pitch when train arrives, the lower pitch when train arrives, these two you should eliminate. Yes or no? These two you should eliminate. So you will be left with same in all respect cannot be your answer. You are left with only one option. Higher intensity when train arrives. Okay. Coming to the next one. Decibel is the unit of bell, decibel, phone, telephone, Alexander Graham Bell. What is your answer? Speed of light, intensity of heat, intensity of sound, or radio wave frequency? Very good, correct. It is your intensity of sound. Simple question. Look at the next one. Permissible noise level at residential areas during night time. Okay, what is the permissible noise level at the residential areas during night times? So it will be around what? Around, see, if during night times, okay, if something is like above 80 decibel, it is too much, it is like very crowded and very noisy. Okay, so something near to that also you have to eliminate. Okay, so you are left with these two options. Okay, now they are close in that matter, but this, just remember, for World Health Organization or in case of India, okay, 100 decibel, and WHO 80 decibel. Beyond this, somebody cannot tolerate this, okay, and continuous exposure to this level of sound can be dangerous for the human health also. But these two options are very close, so you have to remember that it is 45 decibel. Okay, it is 45 decibel, but 80s and 100s, you have to completely remove this 3 and 4, eliminate. Okay, which of the following animals can hear ultrasonic sound? So for ultrasound, which animal was drawn in that diagram? For ultrasonic, one animal was drawn, no? Yes, very good. So it was your bat. So bat can hear this ultrasonic sound. Now, along with this slide, I will provide you a PDF, okay, for the question practice. Everybody, please practice those questions as well. Okay. Say, I think we can practice a few of them here because we have some time. 5 minutes, we can practice 10 to 15 questions. Let me see. Let me just bring it here. Okay. Let me change this slide. This question slide I'll be providing you in the This one. Can you see this? I have changed it to the questions. Okay. So this you will have to solve yourself. All right. Just let us look at one or two of them. Okay. Let us look at one or two of them. Just 5 minutes. Rest you will solve yourself. Okay. What type of wave are sound waves? What is your answer? What type of waves are sound waves? From the beginning itself we are discussing. How can you... Are they latitudinal waves? Are they... Oh, okay. All right. My mistake. So here two options are holding option number B. Okay. So it is your sound waves are longitudinal waves. Okay. Longitudinal waves. All right. So they are longitudinal waves. Now, can you try the next question? Which of the following is not application of ultrasonic waves? For measuring the depth of sea, can you use the ultrasonic waves? Yes. So A is there. These are your options. Okay. You have to answer 1, 2, 3 or 4. For sterilizing the liquid, what was there? Can you use? Yes, you can use. For in ultrasonography, can you use them in ultrasonography? Can you use the sound? And sterilization of a needle, can you use the sound? Here also, okay, they are asking not applicable. Yes, not applicable they are asking. Yes. So where is it not applicable? Yes, very good. So it is otherwise applicable here, applicable here, applicable here. This we have already seen in the slides also. So that will bring us to that it is only in D. That is why needles are just thrown away. Next question. What is the speed of sound in air? Okay, just a second. Okay, this is provided as wrong. Okay, this is your answer. Okay, don't get confused by this. This is your answer because you can use them for sterilizing also. Okay, you can use them for sterilizing. Okay, look at the next question. Speed of sound in air. Multiple times I told you. In fact, here if you though it is not mentioned, but they mean to say it is in 0 degrees Celsius they are asking. Okay, because if you will increase this temperature, then you will get this also. But ideally, when they are asking the question like this, they mean to say 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, Prudvi, Sachin, correct answer that this is your 332 meter per second. If they are asking above 0 degrees Celsius, then go for a temperature above 332 meter per second because it is 0. For example, it will increase little bit if you increase the temperature. What will the effect of temperature on speed of sound? Already we have studied. All these are previous year questions. So try to answer. The speed of sound decreases with increase in temperature. Is it? No. The speed of sound decreases with decrease of temperature. With decrease of temperature, it will decrease or not? The speed of sound increases with decrease of temperature. Which is the best one? The speed of sound increases with increase of temperature. Now, you know that 1 and C are not there. Decreases with decrease in temperature, you will select. Or what you know for sure, that it increases with increase in temperature. Which one you will select? Very good. So, whenever in this kind of confusions, you select the way you have studied. Okay. Next question. Name the characteristic of sound which distinguishes a sharp sound from a grave or dull sound. I don't know why they are calling dull, but this is grave and say the one that has a bass of that sound. That also no. What is it? Multiple times we have discussed. Very good. Correct everyone. It is pitch and it has to be related with what? More the frequency, more the pitch, right? All right. So you practice the rest of the questions because I have another class now. I will end this session here. This last question I'm leaving for you. Those who are watching this class in YouTube, you can provide your answers in the comment box. And those who are watching only for this class, those who are watching this here on the platform, you can provide the answer along with the comments also. Okay. Regarding notes, you will get the PDF, complete PDF you will get, Prithvi. Don't worry. These questions also you will get. There are some 50 questions in this. So you can practice this. Okay. And anything that you don't understand, you are not able to solve, you're confused, ask me. All right. Okay. That's all for this class, everyone. Thank you. I'll see you in the next class. Polity notes. Oh, that NCRT PDF cannot be uploaded. I will try to put it in the this one, community, some other means, or I'll convert it and then I'll share it with you. Yes, thank you for reminding. I'll do that today. Okay. Chalo, bye-bye.